and welcome to the Player YouTube channel, where amongst other things we do car reviews, but not car reviews as you're probably used to. So I'm not going to be discussing scratchy plastics, I'm not going to be talking about fake vents or producing sticks of truth, and I am definitely not going to discuss how many bottles I can get in my door bins. So rest assured, you're going to get it straight from the horse's mouth, as they say. It's the way I see it and the way it should hopefully, help you decide as to whether you want to go down and get a test drive of the actual car we are reviewing. And the car we're reviewing today is the Jaguar E-Pace, the cub, as they aptly call it over at Jaguar, the cub of the Jaguar range. And the reason they call it the cub, and by the way, it's got a lovely little mark on the windscreen over there where there's large Jaguars being followed by its baby cub. I think that's really cute. Apparently that was put there to put a smile on your face. And it does actually. When I found it, I was pleasantly surprised. So it's the cub of the range, the Pace range as we'll call it. So you've got the E-Pace, which is the small compact SUV. Then you've got the F-Pace, obviously, which is the bigger car, and it's a little bit more expensive with a few extra bits and pieces, and it's much bigger, obviously. And then you've got the I-Pace, which is Jaguar's all-electric SUV. And again, super luxury. We've tested most of these cars. If you click up there for the I-Pace now, you can watch that review. We did that a few weeks ago. Highly interesting car, shall we say. I think that's the best way of putting it. So the E-Pace was introduced back in 2017. It's been around a while. It was in desperate need of a makeover, this car, and that's exactly what it's got. It was designed to fit in the premium compact segment of the market, in the SUV market, and I think it's done just that. You've got a premium name in the name Jaguar, obviously, and there's premium build quality in this car. But we need to check it all out. So let's get it back to Player HQ. Let's get around it, let's get under the bonnet, discuss the different engine options, have a look in the back, get it out on the road, and give you our evaluation of the Jaguar E-Pace. First up, the Jaguar E-Pace gets a new bonnet. It gets a slightly different bumper configuration, definitely gets a decent grille now as well, making it look a little bit more aggressive. And all models now come with LED headlights. There are a number of different trim levels with the Jaguar E-Pace. With your entry level S, you will get 18-inch rims, an all-leather interior with 12-way adjustable electronic seats in the front, as well as auto-dipping headlights. Your next level up is the SE, which gets all of what the S level gets, plus you get an electronically operated tailgate, you get 19-inch rims, and additionally you get blind spot mirrors. The range-topping HSE gets everything that the S and the SE get, as well as 20-inch rims, a Meridian sound system, which sounds absolutely amazing, 16-way electronically adjustable front seats, obviously in leather as well. You also get keyless entry and keyless ignition, and on top of that, you've got adaptive cruise control and lane keepy. If you fancy your E-Pace a little bit more sporty, then head for the R-Dynamic models, which is like this one here. Basically, you get, as standard, front fog lights, you get 19-inch alloys, you get privacy glass all the way around the back, and at the back you get a couple of nice rear chrome tailpipes as well. You get chrome pedals inside with a couple of sport seats, and the best thing of all is you get your R-Dynamic badge on the front grille. All of the Jaguar E-Pace models get an 11.4-inch TFT touchscreen that comes with Jaguar's new Pivi entertainment system. SE models and above get a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, which is really, really nice. It can all be set up and controlled here on the left-hand side of your steering wheel. The car gets a decent aircon system which is separated from your main screen here, which is very nice indeed because, again, if you've got gloves on, there's a couple of decent sized knobs here. You can change the temperature by turning the knob left and right, even with your gloves on, and if you want to access the heated front seats, you just push the button once and it will come up there and you set the temperature.
As you would expect in the E-Pace, there's a number of different ways of connecting your mobile devices. You've got Bluetooth, you've got Android mirroring, you've also got Apple Play, which is wireless. In addition to that, there is a Wi-Fi hotspot within this car, so everyone can log on. You also get a number of charging options with this car. You've got inside here a USB, a USB-C, and there is a 12-volt adapter over there. And if all else fails, you do have a wireless Apple charger just in the front there. E-Paces get reverse cameras as well as parking sensors and beepers. However, if you want the additional 360-degree 3D camera, it's well worth investing in my opinion.
So the first thing you are going to notice when you get out the road in the E-Pace is how quiet it is. And I'm really shocked that this car is that quiet because it's got the uprated 20-inch rims on this car. And if you drive a car regularly, you'll know the bigger the rim, the more road feedback you normally hear. So if you were buying one of these cars with 18 or 19-inch rims, it's going to be even quieter than this. And this is quiet. Another good thing which you will notice straight away is the all-round peripheral vision on this car. Simply superb. This massive windscreen that you get with the E-Pace is lovely. It makes the car feel a lot bigger than what it is. However, manoeuvrability in this car is so nice because it is a compact SUV at the end of the day. One of those things that helps with that manoeuvrability are those really huge whopping great mirrors that you've got on there. And don't forget, with the HSE and above trim level, you do get the blind spot monitoring as well, which personally I think is very, very necessary in today's modern driving. All-round vision, as I say, absolutely superb, very nice to drive. Comfort-wise, let's talk a little bit about comfort. We've got these beautiful Jaguar seats in here. These are the 11-way electronically adjusted. There are 16-way as well. They're really nice. You can get it into just the right position that you want to sit and drive in. You've got plenty of manoeuvrability with your steering column as well, so you can simply get the perfect driving position. I drove this car for 2.5 hours the other day, non-stop. It was simply superb, I have to say. I got out feeling exactly the way as I did when I got into the car. So, you know, no aches and pains, no sort of grumbles with my back or anything. But you do expect that from a Jaguar seat. I think they're one of the best seats on the market. It's got a decent gearbox in this car, before we go on to a couple of the little things that I don't think are so great. It's got the 9-speed auto gearbox, and if you pull right the way down, it'll go into the drive mode, obviously, and then there is a sport mode as well, which you can click down into with a second pull once you get into the drive mode. You've got the flappy paddles here if you fancy a little bit of fun when you get into the dynamic mode. We'll talk about modes in a minute. A couple of bits and pieces I'm just going to mention. I have noticed that the suspension on this car can be a little bit, makes a bit of a meal over some of the smaller potholes, which I wasn't expecting. And another thing I noticed was there is a bit of turbo lag on here. I was expecting with the mild hybrid that Jaguar have now put in, this new mild hybrid engine, that there is a bit of battery power that goes in between the turbo and when you request a little bit more power, and it cuts out the lag. That was, and you know, part of that was designed to do that. Doesn't seem to be working as good as it could. However, I do have to say that could be this particular car. So, you know, just bear that in mind when you're test driving it. Feel for that turbo lag, see if it's there. And also with the suspension as well. Let's talk a bit about modes. This car has 4 different modes. The mode button is down here. If you push up with your mode button, you will go into rain, snow and ice mode, which is obviously, as it says on the tin, it's going to give you more traction, more grip in slippery surfaces. Don't forget, all of the cars, apart from that entry-level diesel, are all-wheel drive cars. And given the significance, the relationship between Land Rover and Jaguar, I think you can expect a decent bit of off-roading in one of these cars. I wouldn't say you're going to be able to go out and do full off-road and green laning and stuff like that, but it's not going to let you down when it becomes necessary. Second button down, if you click down, you've got your eco mode. The car is going to spend most of its life in eco mode. Obviously, you're going to want to get the most out of that engine, the most miles per gallon. Next button down, or next slide down, is your comfort mode. That softens everything up. I used comfort mode the other day in that 2.5-hour journey. Really nice, everything just smooth. You know, on a normal road where you're not hitting those bumps, this car is very quiet and it copes very adequately with anything you're going to throw at it. Finally, if you scroll down again to the bottom of that button, you will go into dynamic mode. It's like a sport mode. All of these modes, by the way, when you're changing, they come up in your digital instrument cluster here, and they will change colour. And the red for the dynamic mode is especially nice, especially at night, if you've got it in dynamic mode. Dynamic mode, more throttle response, is slightly stiffer suspension and a little bit heavier on the steering. Really nice though. I do like driving this car in its dynamic mode. There's one other button that I want to mention to you. It's called the progressive, well, it's an off-road cruise control. That's the best way to describe that button. It's the all-surface progressive control button. And what it does is you can set it between 1 and 18 miles an hour. And let's say, for example, you're reversing down a ramp to pick up a jet ski or a boat and you need that extra grip to pull away. The car will actually set all that up for you. It will also act as a hill descent control, so doing exactly the opposite. And if you're going across a field or you've got to do a little bit of off-roading, it will set all that up for you. And all you have to do is take your foot up like you do in a cruise control and it will handle everything and you just steer. It's absolutely perfect. Of course, naturally, as soon as you hit the brake, it disengages everything and you go back to normal drive. But a really handy little button that is. Adaptive suspension and the dynamics package are extra. You do need to speak to your Jaguar salesperson about the implicated costs in having those added to your car. All in all though, generally all-round great drive in the Jaguar E-Pace, and I can highly recommend you get out and have a test drive in one.
All Jaguar E-Pace models come as all-wheel drive with 9-speed auto gearboxes, apart from your entry-level diesel car. Now that comes with front-wheel drive and a manual gearbox. So if you're into auto gearboxes, you're going to be absolutely fine. To be honest, it's a fabulous gearbox on this car. I think you're going to like it. There are 3 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine choices. When I mean choices, different brake horsepower. They're all the same engine. You've got a 200, a 246 and a 296. Your diesel variant does come as an all-wheel drive and it does come with an auto gearbox as an option as well. And that comes in at 163 brake horsepower. Now the one I'm most interested in is the 1.5 litre PHEV. If you're aware of your cars, you'll know that is a plug-in hybrid electrical vehicle, and that is the plug-in hybrid version of the E-Pace here. It's a really good little system. It will give you around 34 miles of battery power around town, which is really fantastic. It's really good on the economy. And it's also the fastest out of all the E-Paces. It turns in at 309 brake horsepower and will give you a 0 to 60 time of sub 6 seconds. When it comes to economy, the E-Pace's 2-litre engine will give you around 27 miles to the gallon around town, which isn't too bad. However, once you get out on the road, you will get up to around 36 to the gallon on a run, which is what we achieved when we recently tested it. I wasn't as impressed as I thought I was going to be. However, I think if you're looking for fuel economy, you should be looking at the PHEV version of this car. That's the only way forward when it comes to that. There are a number of different safety aids that come as standard with the car. You've got things like the parking beepers, you've got the reverse camera, you've got autonomous braking in town, both front and rear, and you've also got a really good collision avoidance systems. If you want to go and add extra bits and pieces, you are going to have to go up the trim levels. For instance, this car has lane keepy, it's got the cruise control, it's got a speed limiter, it's got a sign recognition system, and it also has a high-low beam auto button as well, which is really nice. So you need to check out that with your Jaguar salesperson when you go down for your test drive. Round at the back, it's a really nice design. It's got some lovely lines to this car. Really loving the E-Pace design, shall we say. There's a couple of bits and pieces I want to point out before we get inside. First up, you've got this big piece of aero on the top here. Not only is it helping with the economy, but it also keeps this rear screen as clean as possible. And even when it does get dirty, you've got the wash wipe here as well. There's a DAB radio aerial on the top, and built into that is an optional 360-degree camera, which I've got to say is absolutely fantastic. It's like a 3D surround camera. That's just in the top there. You can hardly even see it. The other thing I like about this is the R Dynamic. We mentioned that earlier, and you do get the black privacy glass all the way around. And I love this rear screen as well, really nice. I'm loving the black badges. There's not a lot that I don't love about the look of this car, I've got to admit. Got these really nice LED tail lights as well. And obviously you've got those twin tailpipes which come with the R Dynamic. Very nice indeed. Let's have a look inside. Don't forget it's the SE and above that gets the assisted tail lift. I had to think then. This one doesn't, but it does get a couple of decent gas struts on it, which do the job, as you can see. Inside here, you've got 577 litres of boot space. Now, if you're thinking, AJ, what's 577 litres? Well, that equates to around 6 carry-on bags. You know those little bags that you take on the plane with you? About 6 of those will go in there comfortably. You've got scuff guards on the back here, so excellent. If you are putting bikes in here, or prams or pushchairs, or even just the dogs jumping up with their claws, that's going to protect this piece of plastic at the back here and keep it looking, well, as best as you can if you're using this on a regular basis. One thing I do get a little bit fed up with are these parcel shelves. This one literally has no relevance whatsoever. It's just there. It does nothing. It's not hiding anything, because even if you are a nasty man trying to steal stuff, you're not to be able to see in there anyway. So anything in the back here is hidden out of the way. So this is pretty much a waste of space. Now, under normal circumstances, I forgive these when they go under here, but you will see there's just no way of putting anything under here. To be honest with you, it's just a pannier, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Unfortunately, you know, these should be just thrown away or exchanged for something else, because I think they're a complete waste of space. I'm going to put it out the way there for a minute because I want to show you inside here. So underneath here, again, I was hoping we were going to get like a space saver with a jack and a wrench to undo the wheel nuts so we could. No, again, you've got this sort of pannier affair down here. You've got your pump and your latex. Your pump and your latex. It's a waste of space. Yet again, I don't know why manufacturers keep throwing these on us, because they don't work. I've had first-hand experience of it. Sat on the side of the road for 3 hours waiting for the recovery services because my latex didn't bloody work. You know, it's just, that's just the way it is. Also, I've noticed in here, good excuse to tell you about another video, this pannier obviously comes as standard throughout the whole Pace range. We'll call it the Pace range, that's the only way I can say it. This one here at the back, I believe used to carry the cables for the I-Pace, so it must have come out of an I-Pace, because that's where the cables are. Now, as I said, great excuse for me to go look up there now. It's coming, I have to use that arm because I'm holding that. I-Pace review we did a couple of weeks ago. Simply fantastic car. You will love that. It's the all-electric version of this. It's a really nice car. Well worth watching that one as well. Make your mind up and after that. So that's the pannier in there. Sadly, no space saver. To be honest with you, you're probably better off investing in run flats for a car like this, and you don't have to worry about anything anyway. You do get a couple of extra bits and pieces in. You've got some shopping bag holders, one either side. There's a 12-volt adapter down there for blowing up your inflatables or pumps, you know, your car, your bike tyres, things like that if you've got bikes. You've got a 40-40-20 split on the back here. Really good. Once you get those seats down, this car is cavernous. It's quite big. You almost double your space in the back here. It's just short of 1,000 litres with those seats down as well. I think all in all, it is a very versatile car. However, there's a few bits and pieces that I personally would like to change if I was doing the design. In the back for the passengers, there's room enough for a couple of adults. In the centre here, it's a little bit tight for a third person, and you've got, there's a reasonable transmission tunnel. It's not too high, but climbing over, as I've noticed, you really are getting a bit caught up here. I'll try and climb into the middle. Yeah, you can just about, it's not very comfortable. I wouldn't want to go far in here. Definitely only 2 adults or a couple of seats in here, you know, those child seats. You've got the Isofix points and you've got recessed seat belts. The Isofix points are the poppy outy ones. I much prefer it when they're on springs or just not have them at all. I know it's a nice finish on these where it's all flush. It does look nice, but inevitably they're going to get lost, or they could get chewed up by a child or a dog, for example. I never thought of that. There you go, I just have. Granny's fishnet stockings in here. Not over keen on that. Design, come on guys, use your brains. Let's come up with some decent design. These back in the day, we used to put maps in here and books. They don't exist anymore. So what are you going to put in there? You're going to put your iPad in there or a phone. It just looks unsightly. I don't like it. Centre in here, we've got a pull-down armrest. It's very nice, double cup holder, but there's no ski hatch, and I'm a little bit disappointed in that. The only way you're going to be able to do that is to actually put the seat down like that. And instead of a ski hatch, you've now got this big seat, which almost separates you. But you are going to get extra long things in here, and you would get your skis through there. It's just a little bit inconvenient. I much prefer it when you've got the little ski hatch there. You've got a couple of LED courtesy lights in the back here. There's nowhere to hang anything. There is a little clip over here where you can hang your coat, but primarily it's quite sparse. And when it comes to sparse, I've also noticed down here, there's only one 12-volt adapter in this car, and there's no independent heating in the back, just a couple of vents that allow you to change the air on and off and perhaps give it a different angle. But that's about it, unfortunately. So a little bit sparse. I think you'd probably be looking to go HSE model, you know, to basically get all the extra bits and pieces. And you'll probably have to pay a lot of money extra to get your air conditioning in the back for your passengers. E-Pace entry-level car will cost you from 36,000 UK pounds, and top of the range you're looking at from 49,000 pounds, depending on any extras that you go for. Warranty wise, you've got a 5-year or 60,000 mile warranty, whichever comes first. You've also got a 5-year or 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. You get a 6-year unlimited mileage anti-corrosion and paint warranty, which is very good indeed. And just to top it all, you will get 5 years roadside assistance with every new Jaguar you buy. So all in all, you're pretty much covered when it comes to the warranty. When it comes to maintenance contracts, you will need to have a chat with your Jaguar salesperson about those, as they vary according to what plan you are on. So I suggest you do all that when you go down for your test drive. All in all though, it's a really nice product. It's premium quality, it's premium price, but at the end of the day, I feel it's premium build. So there you have it, guys. That was the Jaguar E-Pace review. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed filming it. I've learned a lot about this car over the last 10 days, and it has struck me that it's the type of car that I think is sadly missed when it comes to getting down and getting test drives. You've got your F-Pace and obviously the I-Pace, the all-battery one. I think they take a lot of the popularity stake, so to speak, and this one gets a little bit whooshed under the front doormat. It's definitely worth going down and having a little look around one, and perhaps getting one out on the road, because I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at the performance factor of this. The only thing, as I said earlier, is when it comes to economy, it's probably not the best. However, that's about the only way I can sum this car up. Definitely worth a test drive. You've been watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, subscribe and comment. Any comments or additional questions you've got about this car or anything else we do, leave them in the comment box and someone will definitely get back to you in due course. Don't forget, if you could give us a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it, because we don't get a bonus, we don't get paid any extra, but we do get a pat on the back from the boss and the sponsors to say, job well done, because if you thumbs up, that means you liked what you've just watched, and we would really appreciate it. Thank you. Subscribe if you like. Don't forget, leave the bell sign unchecked, because you get regular updates of all the videos we do. We don't just do car reviews, we do bikes, we do boats, we do interviews, all sorts of stuff that us guys absolutely love. And the reason for that is we are part of The Player, and The Player is a much bigger organisation. If you would like to get your hands on something of 220 pages that is designed specifically for men, it's called The Player, then head over to www.theplayer.co.uk. 1 second, it's coming in now. I'm going to leave it down there for a couple of seconds so you can memorise it. Head over there, go to the top of the page, you will see register. I'm not going to bother about your inside leg measurement, how many dogs you got, how many times you've been married, or how many kids you got. Just need your name and your email. So you can download that 220-page book, which will allow you to access all the content that's in there, because there is loads of stuff. You can also look at it online, by the way. You can just flick the pages with your mouse or your finger. It's dead easy, really well set up. We've got in there cars, boats, we've got jet skis, we've got holidays, we've got golf, we've got food, and I could just keep going on and on and on. Just get over there, it's yours for free, the online version, and you can just do that whenever you fancy. Thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you next week with something different, hopefully as nice as the Jaguar E-Pace.